The way 就是主语，后面都是说明这个主语的。什么 way？ 就是 we can get a new fire 的这个 way。
I teach English.
什么呢
Every day I teach my students how to
在什
read
么地方 start 呢 ？In a forest。 怎么来呢？
fluently.
从闪电来的。The only way we can get a new fire is to wait for one to start in a forest from lightning.
The only way we can get a new fire is to wait for one to start in the forest from lightning.
I talked so much that recently I came down with a case of pharyngitis. I started coughing non-stop and not being able to talk at all. Luckily, in the neighborhood of Nanhu Dongyuan, there is a small inconspicuous clinic. Legend has it that a famous Dr. Li Zhen works there, a master acupuncturist with skills that has been passed down for 3 generations. He is one of the 7 medical practitioners in the family. After a brief conversation, I found that he was not only kind but also very knowledgeable. His knowledge of COVID is no less than Zhong Nansan and Zhang Wenhong. I'm willing to bet that if he were to go to the US, Dr. Fauci would treat him with great respect. Per usual, I got up very early, waited in line, and scanned a QR code. With a zero COVID policy in effect, your WeChat location tracking code must be green. Upon entry, we each take a number from a kiosk machine and go upstairs. This is the room where Dr. Li treats his patients. It isn't particularly fancy, however, it is very bright and warm.
So glad to see you.
I encountered one of my daughter's classmates. He wasn't very fluent in Chinese, so we spoke in English. I asked him how he was feeling, and he said he's not seeing any results yet. So I told him to be optimistic and believe in it.
You have to believe it.
Most Western doctors take a person's pulse in order to check their heartbeat, but the same procedure performed by a Chinese doctor can provide far more sophisticated information about a patient. However, since I'm not a doctor, I would not claim to be an expert. I just know that it's a miracle. Meanwhile, the rest of the staff goes about their business, performing red light therapy and electrical stimulation. My eyes widen when I see the traditional Chinese acupuncture techniques and the newest high-tech equipment are used together. I am getting ready now. Taking off my socks and jacket. Now Dr. Li starts to stick me with needles, first in the back of my neck, then right in my throat. This is very scary at first, but I get used to it after a while. The pain is mostly psychological. The needles are so thin that I hardly feel them. However, they can indeed cure illness, and that's the amazing part. Now, it's time for more needles. This time my hands, my feet, and many other places, anywhere he can find a space. Then, as if trying to get me to focus more, a nurse comes over and puts on electro pads and cranked up the current. If you think that I have lots of needles in my body, just take a look at the other patients. Compared to them, I have close to none. Take a look at Aaron's face. I feel sorry for him. He's being treated for congestion caused by serious allergy. This guy seems to really enjoy having all these cups on his back, and he is taking a relaxing nap. And look at those long needles. I wonder if Dr. Li is going to use all of them on him. Now it's my turn for the suction cup treatment. I'm not actually afraid of the cups itself. However, one little thing that Dr. Lee always does makes me nervous, which is to let out some of my blood while cupping. First, he uses a few needles to poke my skin. I mean, really poke, and I'm not joking, including right on my throat. Then he would place cups right over on these spots. Anyone with the least physics knowledge would figure out that the low pressure from inside the cup would suck the blood out of those tiny holes with lots of force.
这前面这个揪的好厉害。
难受吗？
Look at how the muscles in my neck are being pulled out. Pretty gruesome, don't you think? But after all this is done, it does feel really nice and relaxing.
现在他就是待会儿护士看着谁有话会说的时候，你就出现啊。现在。你要什么呀？
What impressed me the most is the fact that everyone who works there is well-rounded. They know what to do and they work very hard. They work as a team and they love what they do.
See you next time.
Here you won't see hectic crowds or hear loud shouting like you normally would in a big hospital. Lastly, this clinic, though small, serves ordinary people's needs. On average, they see more than 150 patients each day. These patients experience family-style warmth as well as the best thoughtful and attentive care. This can be seen, without a doubt, from the many red silk banners that hang along the clinic's hallway.